It's time to give my daughter a big girl room makeover. We moved in last year, and as you can see, I've done nothing with this space. It's kind of been an afterthought, but she's ready to move out of the crib, and she's asked me for pink and lots of flowers. So here's what we're going for. The first thing I'm doing is getting the perfect pink paint color for her. So I'm trying a bunch of different samples that I got from Benjamin Moore, and honestly, I love them all. They are all so pretty. I have no idea how she's gonna choose. I got our paint samples up on the wall, but my daughter couldn't decide, and I don't blame her. I couldn't decide either, and I don't want to rush the process because this is her big girl bedroom. I want her to live in this room for many, many years before we change it up. So there's lots more I can do, like starting on the wall treatment. While she started to think about the color that she's going to paint the walls, I started to install this beadboard. I had it cut down at the hardware store. This room is a blank space, so it's so nice to add some character with this beadboard. Because my walls are not level, I'm actually going to measure at the top and the bottom. Installing those big panels was easy, but now I have to install some of the smaller ones, which means I need to make some cuts. First I tried with my table saw and it was just too hard, so I moved over to my circular saw. This made it a lot easier. Now you're gonna have to tackle some outlets, and the best way to figure out how to cut the outlet is to use a dab of toothpaste on each corner of that outlet and then press your beadboard right into it. Then when you take it off, you've got the marks of each corner and you can easily cut it out with your jigsaw. And you need to make sure to use a really big drill bit to cut a hole so the blade of your jigsaw can fit right into it. Then it's as easy as just cutting it out. Now you will also have to move the electrical outlets forward, so if you're not familiar with that, make sure you hire an electrician. I continue to attach this with my brad nailer, but I love it because it's already adding so much character to her room. There were a couple of really tricky corners in this bedroom because my house is old, so not all the walls or floors are going to be level. And this corner on the window was especially tricky. I tried to hammer it in, but it just wouldn't fit. So I decided that I would have to scribe the wall. Scribing the wall means that you're using a pencil to follow the actual angle of the wall, and then you cut it out with a jigsaw. You want to make sure you get that angle so that it fits neatly into that corner. This gave me a little bit of grief, but it's so worth doing it right. Oh my gosh, wait. Hey, that's pretty good. Hey, that is pretty good. I mean, of course I'll need to caulk this a bit and this one too, but I feel like that's pretty good. Let me nail it in. You see this trim? I'm going to use this on top of the beadboard and it's going to be divine. I'm actually going to paint every single one of these flowers by hand. It's going to be epic. It's going to be like an heirloom trim piece in my daughter's bedroom. Definitely you need a pin nailer if you're doing this type of ornate trim. Like, you don't want to have to patch up holes in this beautiful trim. Okay, just want to give you this tip. When you're cutting really, really thin trim like this, put another block of wood, like a thicker piece, and then cut them. Somehow this just works, like it won't split the wood. I'm super excited because now we're at the point where we actually are really close to painting. So I have to fill in all these gaps with caulk, fill on the holes, and this is what's going to make it look a lot more seamless, and then we can get to painting. Now that all the beadboard and trim is installed, I can get to caulking. Now I'm going to use as much caulk as I need to really fill all the seams. So you want to fill anywhere where two boards meet, the outlets, the corners. There's going to be a lot of caulking involved. Can you believe I finished this entire wall and my daughter still hasn't picked a paint color? So I went and I got 2 more samples just for her. The second one was way too bright, but the first one could be a good contender.
So I still haven't figured out the color yet, but I'm pretty sure that this is one that I don't want. I just feel like it's too muted. She wants something fun and colorful, and this is not it.
I've got some great news. My daughter has finally picked her paint color, and this is Amaryllis by Benjamin Moore. I think it is such a pretty color. This is actually the one I was secretly rooting for, but I didn't want to influence her too much. So we're going to start by painting the baseboards. Now I'm going to paint the baseboards the same color as the beadboard. Now you want to make sure you use a trim or door paint for the baseboard. So this is Benjamin Moore Advanced in a pearl finish, and I'm just using an edge so that I don't have to tape off all my floors. Painting beadboard is a little bit time consuming because you have to paint all those little grooves. Once I started to roll on the paint color, I knew she picked the right color, and I'm so glad that she took her time to do that. If you're going to be installing beadboard, one tip I have is to actually paint all the grooves first by hand with a paintbrush. I had to go in and do this after, and it left a lot of brush strokes, and I had to roll another coat of paint. Now obviously this peach has got to go, so we're going to give it a fresh coat of a creamy white. I love White Dove. This is my absolute favorite paint color, and so I'm using it here in the top half of her room.
Okay, I'm gonna go paint the arch. I'm not even sure if I'm tall enough to do this because I am very short, but I got this new paint pail and I thought I would try it out because it's pretty cool. You don't have to like hold the cup, which cramps your hand, and it has a spot where you can like hang your brush, like it's like a magnet, so your brush doesn't get just like drenched in all the paint. Let's try it. And oh, you can actually use a small roller in here.
Hallelujah, these are short people problems.
I can't give away too much, but I mean, this color is so beautiful, and it's gonna be perfect for my daughter. It's like a really beautiful dark blush tone. I love it. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know, is it too many flowers? I haven't even done the bedding, which I wanted to do more flowers, and the nightstand is also flowers. Okay, here comes the nightstand. Okay. The nightstand looks really blue, like it's too blue.
It's kind of sad to say goodbye to these flowers since I just painted this for my daughter and she didn't even get to enjoy it that much, but it's just too many flowers in the space and I need this to be a neutral. So I'm sanding this down with P60 grit. Then I use bin primer just to make sure that whatever paint I use really adheres to this. Obviously in a kid's room, you're gonna expect some wear and tear on the furniture, but I wanna minimize that as much as possible. I added these resin flowers that I also have repeated on the nightstand in her room, and I thought it was just a nice way to tie the whole bed and nightstand together. Then I'm painting it Pale Oak by Benjamin Moore using their advanced paint. Now you wanna make sure you use a cabinet grade paint in a kid's room especially, because I don't want this paint to chip. I picked a really creamy color to paint the bed because the walls are like pretty white and I didn't want the bed to like blend in to the wall. As I'm painting the bed, I realized that these lines in the headboard are actually gonna be clashing with the beadboard. They're just way too similar. So I decided to cut down some scrap MDF that I had from the beadboard and I'm gonna flip it over and attach it to the headboard and the footboard just to make them way more neutral. I already love this bed so much more and it's gonna look so good in my daughter's room. I kept looking at this door and thinking this door is just really sticking out, especially with the beadboard on both sides. So I decided to paint it that same blue color that I used on the nightstand. This is Colonial Blue by Benjamin Moore.
It's the end of an era. All three of my kids have slept in this crib, and now we're getting rid of it. So I've had this crib for like more than 10 years, and I'm done having kids, so I'm moving out of that stage of my life, and it's just crazy to think that this one piece of furniture has been so special, has had so much joy in our lives. Just, I mean, it's just a crib, but yeah, it was something really special. And that's it. There is no more crib. That's it. There's no more crib.
I scored this incredible deal from Facebook Marketplace. This is a vintage bookshelf from IKEA. It's 25 years old and it's made of real wood. So you know that not many products are made with real wood at IKEA anymore, but it was just $30 and it has the perfect kind of vintage shape for her bedroom. I am so thrilled to find this. I mean, look at that. It's even stained the perfect color. This room's really coming along, but my daughter asked for flowers. So now I'm gonna be adding these flower decals that I got. They're really inexpensive and they're much easier than installing wallpaper. And because I like everything to be perfect, I pulled out my laser level. Cottagecore and Nancy Meyers style is really in for home design right now, and I think that's the perfect kind of vibe for her bedroom because I wanted to make this like a classic bedroom that she could really grow into, and part of that is mixing patterns. Now, mixing patterns can be really difficult if you've never done it before, but here are some key tips that I use. First of all, you want to have only one dominant pattern in the room. So in this room, the dominant pattern is definitely the rug, and all the other patterns should be less subtle in color, in size, and shape. And so you can see that the bedding here that I've chosen, even though we've got gingham, it's very muted. The comforter is just a solid green because you want to have some solids. If you have too many patterns and no solids, it's really hard to visually digest it. I found the perfect kind of quilt for her room. It has these tiny flowers on it and she fell in love with it too. And so this is, again, a smaller pattern and we're letting the rug be dominant. And I layered lots and lots of pillows, and I got this really cute cat pillow that because she loves cats as well, and I think it's just going to be a really cozy space for her to curl up and read in. I spent the last few weeks making over my daughter's bedroom, and this truly feels like a love letter to her. My daughter is so special because after 2 boys with IVF, I never thought I would have a daughter, and to have one just fills a really special space in my heart. So here's the reveal of my daughter's big girl bedroom. I think it is perfect for her. She asked me for pink paint and lots of flowers, and it's just got the most beautiful feeling when you walk in. It's sweet and creative, and I hope it's a place that she can come to and just feel really comfortable when she's in this space. I hope you love this video too, and if you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for more DIYs.